Dr. Fruchtenbaum tells us that at the time of Jesus' public ministry, very few people had bathtubs inside their home. Most people used public bathhouses. Coming from the bathhouse, a person would be mostly clean except for their feet. And the feet had to be cleaned before they entered the house. Fruchtenbaum said this is a metaphor for the saved person. At the moment of our salvation, we are thoroughly washed clean. We are regenerated. But we will need to be cleaned from time to time from the sins that we commit as we walk through the remainder of our lives. We need to address those specific moments, and we need to present our dirty feet to the Lord to be cleaned. The Last Supper was marked by service, by teaching, and by prayer. The Passover meal was observed in a way to teach children what God had done for the people of Israel to deliver them from Egypt. And Jesus teaches his disciples how they are to live after he has returned to the Father. And the first lesson was to serve one another as a blessing, as an act of sanctification. No one was too important to serve another. Charles Spurgeon had this to say about Jesus washing the feet of his disciples. Quote, "Hear how gossips say, 'Do you see that spot? What a terrible walks that man must have had this morning. Look at his feet. He has been very much in the mire, you can see, for there are the traces upon him.' That is the world's way. Christ's way is very different. He says nothing but takes the basin and begins to wash away the stain. Do not judge and condemn, but seek the restoration and the improvement of the erring." End quote. Just so you know, I'm not trying to claim Charles Spurgeon as my own writing. The gospel doesn't record Jesus telling one disciple that he should really watch where he's walking, or telling another disciple to quit kicking stones because it's messing up his toes. Their feet were dirty, and Jesus washed them clean. That's love. That's grace. That's humility. Jesus said, "I have given you an example to follow. Do as I have done to you." What would the church look like if we followed this example more regularly? What if we didn't ask for explanations or direct the person in need somewhere else? What if we just ministered? As I said, today's sermon is called Begins, because we're focusing on the beginning of the passion of Jesus. We're focusing on the beginning moments of his hour. And how does Jesus choose to kick off his hour? He takes off his robe. He gets down on his knees and he washes dirty feet. And he begins to show us how he wants his church to work. Jesus was not telling us that once each year we need to wash people's feet. Jesus was telling us that we need to cast aside our pride, our status, our reluctance, to get up close and personal with those who may be covered with the excrement of the world, and then share the light of Jesus. We don't do this simply by handing out a religious tract or by offering a simple prayer or even by handing them petty cash from our wallets. We do this with a compassion that is alive and active. We relate to them as our equal. We relate to them as if they are better than us. Jesus washing the disciples' feet wasn't a great sacrifice, but it was a great concession. At this moment, I am willing to serve you because you need it. And because I desire to imitate my Lord and his great compassion, I want to love like Jesus, and I want to live like Jesus. What did Jesus say? I tell you the truth. Slaves are not greater than their master. Nor is the messenger more important than the one who sends the message. Now that you know these things, God will bless you for doing them. If Jesus can serve in the lowliest of fashions, if Jesus can set aside his privilege, then so can we, because we are not greater than he is. And when we do so, God will bless us. What did Jesus tell us in the Sermon on the Mount? God blesses those who are humble, for they will inherit the whole earth. God blesses those who are merciful, for they will be shown mercy. God blesses those whose hearts are pure, for they will see God. God blesses those who work for peace, for they will be called the children of God.